Hi guys, welcome to Heidi's Homemade YouTube channel. My name's Heidi and I am the owner of Heidi's Homemade Cooking Company. And today I'm going to show you how to make chocolate chip cookies. So, I've been baking since I was a little kid, and my favorite thing to make is most definitely cookies as far as baking goes. The reasons being, well, they're varied, but that I'm not really a very precise person, so I like to experiment. If I really like a lot of a certain flavor, I like to add a whole bunch of it, and things like cakes and cupcakes and breads usually don't really lend themselves to too much experimentation because they're very science-based, and a little bit too much of something can ruin the entire thing, and I don't find that so much with cookies. So like I said, we're just going to make chocolate chip cookies today. Just the basic favorite. Everyone loves chocolate chip cookies. So I always like to start with melted butter. People will tell you that melted butter is not preferable, that you need to cream it with sugar, but I'll let you taste my cookies and you can argue with me then. So right here we have 1 cup of melted butter. And I like to make most of my cookies vegan, which really doesn't involve that much manipulation. I use earth balanced butter and egg replacer, something like this here. Egg replacer, you just use, in place of 2 eggs, it's like a tablespoon of this and 4 tablespoons of warm water, and you just mix it up. And that's really the only difference. And then you can get vegan chocolate or what other ingredients that you would like to put in there. So it's pretty easy to make them vegan, but for the purposes of appealing to the general masses, we're going to make these with real butter and eggs. And so I've got the melted butter in there, and then I'm going to add 3/4 of a cup of granulated sugar, 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar, light brown sugar. Get these out of the way. And then I like to go ahead and just add my baking powder and salt during this step. Again, people will argue with you that you need to mix all of the dry ingredients together first to blend it up, but I really don't see a better way to blend it in than just blend it in with the wet ingredients. And I don't have any issues having my cookies turn out just fine. And then we'll add the salt also on this step. I don't generally either spend a whole lot of extra money on super fine ingredients. I find that regular flour is fine, regular butter is fine, regular eggs are fine. They don't have to be farm-raised eggs. I don't have to grow my own flour and do whatever you do to make flour. But a few things that I do think are really important are I like to use sea salt in all of my cookies. Like I said, I like to pack in as much flavor as possible into the cookies, which usually means a lot more chocolates, a lot more sugars, and with really coarse salt, that really helps to balance out all of that sweetness. So I've got my Bitterman salt here that my friend who works there sent to me. Thank you, Allison. So I put in probably a teaspoon and 1/4 of that. And then the next ingredient that I think is important to get a really good variety of is whatever extract you're using, vanilla extract. It's way superior of a product if you just get good vanilla, because you use such a small amount in the actual cookie, and with the imitation kind, it's just made with water and sugar, and you really can't taste the vanilla, not as much, I don't think. So we'll put 1.5 teaspoons in that. You like my measuring? It's probably more like 2 teaspoons, but as much as you'd like to put in there. And then go ahead and stir that together. With cookies, you can stir as much as you'd like on this step with the butter and the sugar. Once you start putting the eggs and the flour in there, you're going to want to take it easy. You don't want to overmix them, because this is not cake, it's cookies, and they're supposed to crumble. And if you stir too much on the flour step and the egg step, you're gonna start developing proteins and glutens, and you're gonna have a tough cookie. So go ahead and crack 2 eggs in there. As many eggs as I've cracked in my life. I still get shells in there periodically. Get that out of there. Stir that in just until it's blended. So at this point, your dough should be looking like this. Just a nice tan color. Get this out of the way so you guys can see. And then we're gonna add almost 3 whole cups of flour. Most cookie recipes for 2 sticks of butter, 2 eggs that start with kind of that base are gonna call for just a little over 2 cups. I like a lot more flour in there. With the amount of baking powder that I put in there, I just feel like it turns out better. I don't know the science behind it. And again, taste the cookie and you tell me. I've probably made, I don't know, tens of thousands of these chocolate chip cookies, and I haven't really got any complaints on them. Stir that in really well. Get flour all over the place. It's part of baking, is being covered in flour. All right, so got that mixed in really well. And I like it when I'm making cookies for when I'm stirring in the flour for it to start to kind of pull together, almost like bread. I don't like the dough to be even slightly runny at all. So kind of like this, where you pick it up and it just comes up like that. And then the last thing that we'll add here is our chocolate chips. Like I said, I like to put a lot of flavor into my cookies. So most recipes that start with this this 1 cup of butter, 2 eggs, 1.5 cups of sugar, call for 12 ounces of chocolate chips. I add 24. So dump them in. And just mix it in. And this is my top secret recipe. I'm really not too worried about giving away the secrets of my recipes. I feel like anybody who wants to learn to make a cookie can learn to make a cookie. So I don't worry that you're gonna steal my secrets and take business away from me. There's enough cookies to go around for everyone. So, all right, so this is the dough, and then we'll just scoop it onto the baking sheets. I make the cookies, the ones that I sell, very large. So we'll let you see. Step out of the frame here for just a second. This size baking scoop, I believe this is 2 ounces, but I overfill it. That, and on a half sheet, baking sheet, I can fit 8 of these on there comfortably. I don't ever like them to run together. I don't like square edges. I like them to be kind of big and round and misshapen, but I don't like it when they touch each other. And it makes it nicer for wrapping that way, if all of the edges are crispy and haven't baked alongside of any other edges. So, got 8 on there. And then one final thing that I do before I put them into the oven is I just press them down like this. I found with the amount of baking powder that I put in there, that they rise more than they spread out, and that's with the extra flour as well. So I kind of just help them to flatten out a little bit. And then for this size of cookie, 350 for about 16 minutes. You'll be able to look in the oven and see when they're starting to get done, the edges will just get the slightest bit brown. And when you take them out of the oven, after the 16 minutes, I leave them on the pan for about 5 to 10 minutes, and that allows them to finish baking and firm up a little bit. So, with the magic of video, they're already done. So, here we are. And like I said, they're really, really big. You're welcome to make them smaller. If you do end up making them smaller, I would recommend starting the timer at about 12, 13 minutes and then just keep checking them. So I'll come around here so you can see the finished product. There it is. Lots and lots of chocolate chips. And this is one of my #1 sellers. So, good luck and happy baking, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.